So there we are. Okay, so we are going to start. I had this all planned and now it's gone in my head. Okay, so all around you, there's noise, there's smoke, wood is creaking, cannons are firing. Right beside you, I need all of you to make a, whatever the equivalent is for reflex. I don't know.
Probably agility?
Yeah, agility. That sounds
If you're
good.
looking for a characteristic. Okay. So, agility. If I have an agility of 2.
Yeah, you can add coordination. Let's add that to it too.
Okay. I do not have that. So, a basic roll is 2 green dice, if I remember.
So it depends on what so it's agility. So whatever your rank is of agility.
Okay. I have a 2.
You have a 2. Okay, and you have no ranks in coordination?
I do not.
Yeah, so you would roll 2 green dice.
Okay, do I add any of the setback or...
Add 2 purple die.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah. So 2 green and 2 purple?
Yeah, unless you have like a ranks or anything in coordination.
No, I do not. I got a advantage. 1 advantage.
Okay, so you did not succeed, but you have an advantage.
Okay, and the starbursts are advantages.
Starbursts are your successes.
Successes, and then the little Star Trek symbols are advantages. Okay, then I got 1 success.
Okay, so you succeed, and Baron.
Oh, can't hear you.
Yeah, I'm not hearing you at all, man.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yep.
Fucking cats fucking with my headset. And now me. I have 2 advantages. Sorry about that.
Okay, so Baron and Baron, you're Charlatan Charlie. So Charlie and Nicola, you are going to take 1 wound each as you. This is bypassing your any armor or anything that you would have, as you couldn't get out of the way of this last blast that of this cannon fire that opened up a hole in your ship. Everything is everywhere. Mr. Fisk, you managed to dodge out of the way. You don't take any damage. But Baron, Charlie, you have 2 advantage that you could spend to do something if you wanted to. Likewise.
So we are like below deck in some sort of armada fight?
You are.
Okay. So maybe I could use my 2 advantage to like get our cannon in a position to fire back.
Absolutely. For 2 advantage, you can do a free maneuver. So you could get yourself over to the cannon if you wanted to.
Yeah, I want to... it probably rolled back away from like the window or something, and I'm pushing it forward, flipping open the hatch to get ready to fire.
Perfect. And Nicola?
Nicola, with her 1 advantage, is going to... how many other people are here in where the last cannon strike just happened?
So this last cannon strike, pretty much envision that it happened all across the side of your ship. So you guys don't even have to be in the same area. You could be wherever you wanted to be on the ship. You have a pretty stocked crew at this point, so there's people everywhere on your side.
So I think Nicola would take a moment to make sure to assess everyone else, to command others to get the wounded as far away from this place as possible.
Perfect. Okay, and with that, we're not going to do initiative at this point because you're all going to go before we go to the ship firing again. So PC turns, you guys can decide what you want to do and in what order, and let me know.
I guess I must have missed some of it in the beginning. What is the actual context of this fight? What is the...
That's the part I probably forgot to tell you, right? So you are broadside beside this other ship. You happen to look at the porthole, so you got to see this. So you are broadside this other ship. You are having this battle. You're attacking. As far as you know, the last thing that your captain has told you is that you are boarding the ship to recover something on it. Some sort of cargo that they have.
Always a man of detail, our captain. So I would like to, I guess if I'm going to open fire. I want to fire back at them with the cannon that I've positioned. Is that like a skill check?
It would be a gunnery check.
All right, well, I'm not a gunnery. So, with no ranks or anything in it, do I...
So gunnery is...
agility.
Agility. So it would be your ranks of agility would be your weapons.
Okay, so 2 agility. Is that 2 green dice, 2 purple dice?
Yes. In this case... Yeah, it'll be 2 purple dice. Plus, you are going to have to put 2 setback dice on it.
Those are the black ones?
Yeah.
Okay.
And you are firing, just so you know what you've got here, you've got basically on this side 12 9-pound cannons that you're shooting off all at once.
Heck yeah. So the special ability I took for being human is touched by fate. So I'm going to add 2 blues to any 1 check this game. And
Okay.
I'm going to burn it up right now. So we're going, I got a handful of dice. We are working. Wow, they all pretty much came up blank. I made out with 1 setback.
Oh, okay. So what's going to happen in this case? Because you can't like miss. So what's going to happen is they're only going to take half damage.
Okay.
From the fights. So you managed to fire off all these cannons. A lot of them, kind of hit places that didn't do a lot of damage, or they went through places that had already been damaged currently. So, and the setback, what's going to happen to you? I'm going to say the barrage, you kind of got nicked by one of the cannons and it's going to knock you down.
Okay.
So you'll have to spend time to get back up. And we'll move on. Mr. Fisk, what are you doing?
So I think the reason that Mr. Fisk might have escaped harm from that last volley is because he was on deck. He was above the gun deck where these cannon actually exchanged, fire with each other. And have we actually pulled up close enough that we are able to board, or are we still approaching?
You could absolutely approach, try to board. Each of you have actually got, as your standard kit that you don't have on your character sheets, but a gun that basically is a boarding gun. It'll fire a grappling hook out with a rope, allow you to pass over.
Okay, excellent. And that's exactly what Bronson Fisk is doing. I almost imagine like a long gun, like a harpoon gun, except it's got this kind of grappling spike on the end. and it's got this long coiled rope kind of under the forward hand, and he's aiming this at a point on the mast that's pretty high up, kind of near the lowest cross beam. So he's actually going to fire that at the mast and try to embed it into the wood. And then if he's able to do so, he's going to do the classic Errol Flynn swing across from one ship to the other, kind of, one-handed, getting his flintlock pistol ready. Would you like a roll for trying to sink that harpoon?
Yes, that's going to be a ranged attack.
Okay. I have a 1 in ranged.
A 1 on ranged. And
okay.
You're going to get, I believe...
Okay, so my agility is 2.
Yeah, okay, sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm just saying my agility is 2,
yep.
But I have 1 in range. So I've taken a green or taken 2 green and then replaced one of them with a yellow.
That's perfect.
That's perfect. So, okay.
Okay, and you're going to be at medium ranged for that mast. So it's going to be an average difficulty. So that's 2 purple die.
Purple.
However, the thing that you are trying to hit is bigger. So you're going to get a boost die.
Oh, sweet. Okay. So I've got a green, a yellow, 2 purple, and a blue.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay. The X's are what cancel out the sunbursts or the Star Trek symbols?
They cancel out sunbursts.
Sunbursts. Okay, so those cancel each other out.
The funny thing that looks like an aiming crosshair, that cancels out the Star Trek symbol.
Okay, cool. So that's a good way to remember it then. Those little crosshairs have 3 points. The Star Trek symbols are kind of triangles. They've got 3 points. That works well enough for me. Okay, so those cancel each other out. So I have 2 advantages and 1 success. Okay,
so you managed to do what you were planning on doing, and you have 2 advantages that you can spend
to perform a free maneuver?
Yeah, you can do a free maneuver.
Okay, I would like to do that. The free maneuver is maybe swinging across? Or would that be an action?
No. So you fired, that's your action, so you have a maneuver. So you basically have 2 maneuvers you can do. So swinging across would be 1, and then you'd still have 1.
Okay, so I will swing across with the first maneuver, and then the second will actually be to draw and prepare my switchblade sword.
Perfect. Okay. Nicola.
I think that for now, Nicola is going to remain on the ship until she ensures that all those who are wounded are cared for. I think that she's usually, if at all, the last person to leave the ship. And so she's going to run over to someone who's injured and try and patch them up. She has like this little bag with her apothecary kit.
Okay. Do a medicine check.
Okay. So if I have a rank in 2, and that's intellect, which is 5. So that would be 5 green.
Of which you take 2 of them and change them to yellow.
So that's 3 green, 2 yellow, and 3 purple. Do you always match the green and the purple?
No. So you're trying to heal somebody that's hurt. We're just going to say it's 2 purple die. That's your average.
So the purple die is for the DM to.
Yeah, it's what you're trying to beat. It's the I don't know how to.
They're detrimental dice.
Yeah.
Like they'll take away successes and advantages.
Right. Okay. All right. So I have 2 successes and 4 advantage.
Sweet. Okay, so you've managed, like the person that you're working on, you have managed to like staunch their wounds and heal them up a bit, so they're feeling much better. And you have 4 advantage that you could spend to do things. So you could spend 2 of them to do a free maneuver if you wanted to. You could add boost die to your ally's next check if you can explain, kind of give a reason how you could do that.
It looks like there's an option on the cheat sheet for spending 3 advantages that you could ignore the environment for 1 turn. So since they're firing on us, that might not be a bad one.
Yeah, that's true. I think, and you don't have to spend them all, do you? All
No.
your advantages? But
No,
they
I
don't,
mean,
like,
you don't get to hold them over, so you might as
Okay.
well. Yeah.
okay.
And you don't actually have to also just follow this too. If there's something else that's really cool that you can think of, go for it. We also have story points. That's at any time, like during your turn, you can use them to upgrade a die if you want to, or you can use them to do something cool.
Do we know how many of those we have?
You have 1 per person, but it's a pool,
Okay.
so anybody could use them. So you have 3, and there's 1 story die that's in the GM's hand right now. So there's 4 in play at all times.
So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to spend 3, and I'm going to ignore the environment for 1 turn.
Okay.
And then I'm going to spend 1, and I want to notice something important about the other ship.
Okay. Like a
Like,
vulnerability or something?
yeah, exactly. And she's going to, the person that she's kind of healing is probably expected to go back into the fight if able. And so she is going to try and tell him the thing that is important, the vulnerability about the other ship.
Okay. So that you can pass that on to whoever needs it, like whoever's going to go next, right?
Mhm.
Perfect.
She kind of just yells it out. So, yeah.
And that's going to bring us to the other ship, who is going to fire upon you guys. And they get 1 disadvantage, so that's pretty awesome. So your ship takes some minor damage as these cannon fire hit it again. However, this time with a disadvantage, like nothing is really hurt. Most of it's kind of a superficial damage to areas outside. And I'm thinking that maybe it has also kind of maybe jammed a couple of their guns, their cannons as well. So they'll have less to fire with next time. And that will bring us to, we're going to say at the top of the order at this point. So whoever wants to go first can do whatever.
Can someone else go first? I'm still thinking about what I want to do.
I mean, I'm pretty in it at the moment. So I've landed and, have this enormous, looks like a scabbard, and have basically held it out in my hands and activated it. So this blade has swung outwards and it is now a full sword. And he is going to just meet whatever foe is the closest. He'll take a maneuver if he needs to, just to step up to the closest fool and bring the pain.
Perfect. When you land on the ship, there's the shipment all over. So you can land right smack close to somebody and deliver pain. So,
do we know where we are supposed to be heading to look for this object? Have we been told about where on the ship it might be?
You have been told to basically take this ship.
Okay, just dominate the other crew. Okay.
Yeah.
I can
basically
do that.
Get them to surrender.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this would be a melee.
This is a melee. Yep.
Okay, and I have a 4 brawn and a 2 in melee, so that's 2 green, 2 yellow, 2 purple.
Yeah, 2 purple.
Is there anything else? Black die or anything?
Yes, you will. The opponent that you're fighting also has a sword, so they have a defensive one, so you get 1 black die.
A black die. Okay. Alrighty, let's see here. Ooh, that's a good thing. Okay. X's take out starbursts. Okay. I will get this, I promise. The starbursts are successes?
Yes.
Okay. So I have 4 successes and a triumph.
Oh.
But I have one of the crosshair things.
So you have a disadvantage.
So the disadvantage. Okay. So I have 4 successes and a triumph and 1 disadvantage.
Okay, so for the disadvantage, we're just going to make you suffer a strain. We'll make it easy.
Suffer a strain.
Yeah,
okay.
You did all this. It was amazing, but it was a little bit
but it was over the top.
Exhausting. Fisk. Yeah. So 4 successes and a triumph. So that's 5 successes. So you do an additional 4 points of damage on top of your weapon. So your weapon is +3, right?
It is a +3, yes.
Okay, so it's going to be your brawn +3 +4.
My brawn, just 4. +3, so that's 7. And you said +4?
+4.
So 11.
So you do 11 damage on this poor guy.
What is the crit to?
So if you have 2 advantages left over, you could spend them to deal a critical hit.
So that cues off of advantages.
Yes.
Cool.
Yeah. Okay, so you've done 11 points.
11 points.
Describe how you kill this person in front of you.
So he has swung over, and I think this guy actually ran towards him, like as he was swinging, and so he landed like as this gentleman was closing, and he actually just kind of opens this thing and just lets the guy run straight onto the end of his sword, and he just kind of lifts his foot up and just kind of pushes the guy back off of his blade, and then kind of spins it around to face somebody else.
Perfect. Okay, who's next?
I'll go. Charlie is on the ground, having been blown back from one of the cannons, whether it been the fire from the enemy or in combination to the bevy of rounds that I sent off. I'm going to try and get up, and I'm going to try and go up on top. If we have to retrieve something, maybe Mr. Fisk could use some assistance. Definitely not with killing people, but.
Okay, so with your maneuver, you could get to the top of the ship. Yeah,
I was going to say, if I'm laying down, I probably can't get all the way out there. So I maybe even like push this cannon off me, dust myself off, my motley clothes, and take off towards the steps to go on top.
Perfect. So we'll have you on deck at the end of this. Nicola.
Nicola as well is going to make her way to the deck just to see what the state of the ship is, if there's anyone on this ship with them who's from the other side. Basically hold the fort down, make sure that the other people going across get there, and so on.
Okay, so you're going to defend this side, make sure nobody lands here.
Yes.
Perfect. Okay. So that person that you healed last time ran out, and he's going to have the crew fire the guns on your side of the ship. So we will do that. And he gets a boost die because you said. So no success. So they'll take the half damage. But they got 4 advantages. So you guys can describe how you want to use those 4 advantages.
Maybe we're in a better position in relation to the enemy.
We could disable their guns.
Ooh.
Yeah, that looked like one of the options on the list.
Yeah.
So it didn't do a lot of damage because you guys were aiming for their guns and you managed to take them out so they can't fire back this turn.
Yeah, I think it's, let's see, 3 advantages. Disable opponent or gear instead of damage. So yeah, that sounds pretty on point to me.
Okay, perfect.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe that could also give you guys a boost on because you have one advantage left, right? So it could give you a boost to the next person that's going. Maybe it, rock the ship enough that put their people off guard or staggered them or something.
Mm-hmm.
So that's going to bring us to the fellows that are on Mr. Fisk here. So you've managed to down one of them. There's 3 still around you. And do you have a defense right now, right? Is that correct?
Right now, because I have the switchblade out, I have a defensive 1.
Okay.
Only 2 melee, though.
Okay. Okay, so they actually succeeded to hit you. You're going to take 6 points of damage, but you subtract your soak value from that.
Okay. Do you subtract your soak value from like every hit that you take? So it's not like something I spend now and then don't have later, or
Every time, yeah.
every time. Okay, cool. So that I have a soak of 4, so that leaves 2 remaining.
Yes, so you would take 2 points of wounds.
Of wounds. Okay.
And that will bring us back up to your guys' turn, because they don't get to fire their guns.
So Mr. Fisk will, this person who, how many did you say closed with me?
There's 3 still on you.
3 that closed? Okay. In that case, okay, if I take an attack twice, I take 2 strain in order to do that. Is that correct? Or is that only maneuvers?
Only maneuvers, so you can't attack twice.
Cannot attack twice. Okay. Even with 2 different weapons?
You could try to do 2. You can do 2 weapons. It's kind of a... I was just reading that this morning. There's a disadvantage if you do it. You would basically you would look at your skill for each of the particular weapons, and you would take the lowest value of that skill. So let's say if you're going to do a ranged and a melee, then you'd take your lowest one, and you would take your lowest attribute that goes for them.
I see. Okay.
Yeah. Plus, you would add a difficulty die because you're trying to do 2 things. Or not. Yeah. Is it difficulty or the setback? Let me just.
I think I might just do 1.
Just do 1.
Yeah. I'll just keep it simple. Okay. So, sword strike, one of the ones that actually struck me,
Okay.
maybe the one that did it the worst, is he'll wheel around on him and kind of give him this stern, angry look, and then is going to swing at him.
Okay, so it's 2 purple die and 1 setback.
Okay.
That you have to add.
I think I've got it right. Uh-oh, that doesn't look as pretty. Okay. Those cancel out. And that cancels out. Okay, so I have 2 advantages and 1 X, which is a failure.
Yes. Okay.
So I failed, and then I have 2 advantages.
Yeah, so they kind of gang up on you, and you are unable to connect with any of them, but you have 2 advantages that you could use.
Okay, so let me look at the list real quick, see what I've got. 2 advantages. I'm going to add a black to the target's next check.
Okay.
So apparently I've sacrificed a little bit of my ferocity for a little bit more of a defensive stance.
Perfect. Okay. Nicola or Charlie?
Is there anyone trying to come across the other ship?
At this point, no, but you have a ranged weapon, I'm sure, right?
I do not.
You do not.
No, I do not.
Totally pick up one of the boarding rifles and just use that as a...
He just shoots somebody. Or there was a bunch of wounded sailors or shipmen there.
Okay.
You could have picked one up.
Okay. She's, yeah, all right. She will pick one up then. What would you say that would be?
That's a range. It'll be a flintlock pistol.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So that is agility.
Yes.
And I have no ranks in it. So then that's just 2 green.
Yeah. Against their 2 purple, and in this case, no setback because they don't do that.
Okay. So 2 green, 2 purple. Okay.
Yes.
That is 2 successes.
Okay, so you are going to do 7 damage because ranged weapons just do straight damage. You don't add any ability to it. So it's 6 plus the extra one, so that you do 7 damage to whoever you are shooting at.
Yeah, I can just imagine that she's kind of making sure that everyone's healed. No one's trying to come across. It looks like we have the upper hand, and maybe she sees one of her fellow sailors is starting to get overcome by another one of these other pirates, and she is just going to look around, sees a gun on the ground, kind of picks it up, aims, shoots it, and then just kind of tosses the gun aside.
Perfect. Okay. So you can describe how you kill one of the other sailors on the other side, the other shipman.
I imagine it's from the perspective of this guy who's kind of being overtaken by this other, maybe they're like wrestling for something, a sword or a scabbard or something, and they're kind of wrestling over it. And all of a sudden, this guy's head just, the one side just kind of explodes. Just, and it kind of like falls over to the side.
It does that like little focus pull where like you see just you like with the gun smoking.
Yeah. She just
you can see through the hole in his head all the way to your character.
All right, and that'll bring us to Charlie.
So I think that like this bullet actually made me like go right above my head as I'm kind of peeking up onto the deck. Like, oh. And I'm going to just try and jump over the ship as quickly as possible.
You're just gonna like run and jump.
If I'm close enough, yeah. All right. You said we all have those grappling guns, don't we?
Yeah.
I'm going to do that.
Okay.
Obviously.
Then make a ranged shot. What are you gonna aim at?
I'm gonna aim at. I'm actually gonna aim like at a really fat guy, if there is one.
So you use him as an anchor.
Exactly. I'm only rolling two greens. So.
Okay, so you're aiming at a person. So you're going to add 1 setback die for the distance, and 2 purple.
Yep. All right, no whammies. Okay, some serious whammies. Actually, not too bad. I got 1 success, but 1 setback.
Okay, so you succeed in shooting this guy with this grappling hook. And maybe for the setback, though, it doesn't quite anchor as much as you had hoped. So he's going to get pulled to the side of the ship, and it's going to be kind of basically hanging on there with railing. So if you try to swing over, you're going to have to climb up.
Rather than swing over, maybe I can just like try and wrestle with this guy to pull him over, if that's possible, the edge. Or is that too much? Do I need to do a maneuver as a movement instead?
No, I'm going to give it on this. Like, let's do it. That sounds cool.
So I see that this guy kind of like, stumbles forward to the edge. And it's like, no, man, you're supposed to stay over there. So I'm just going to try and pull him off.
Okay, let's athletics.
All right, man. All right, so I have a 3. So I'm going to 3 green, 3 purple.
2 purple. But I'm going to put a setback die on this because he's got the railing in front of him.
Okay. All right, we got 2 successes. No, 1 success, 2 setbacks.
Okay, so he is going to fly off the edge of the ship. You are pulling him off. However, he is still attached to your grappling gun.
Ah, yes, that he is.
So you have either to let it go or you are going to be fighting his weight.
I'm letting it go. Not even going to second thought it.
Okay. Gun is gone.
Sorry, mates. I lost my boarding gun. But he lost his life.
One less to fight. So that's going to bring us to the ships and their firing. I'm going to have you guys roll this instead. So somebody can roll 3 green die versus 2 purple and 2 black.
Okay. Doesn't look great. Let's see. So that cancels that out. That cancels out. Okay, so it is simply 1 disadvantage.
Okay, so the other ship takes some damage, but again, our shots are kind of, some are going wide, they're just not as effective. Setback. I don't know. Let's say the guns are going to suffer a strain. What I'm going to do is that's going to add to the ship. Maybe that barrage just kind of put a little bit of strain on your guys' engines to hold it steady there. So the ship is taking 1 system strain. If they get too much system strain, then they cannot move or maneuver. The ship would be kind of basically dead in the air. And that brings us to their guns. So that disables only for the 1. We'll say they get half of them back from... Oh, that's not very... Yeah, they failed terribly. That was really bad roll. So they failed miserably. Some of the shots probably backfired inside their own ship. They tried to fire way too soon from the barrage that you guys did against them the last time. I would say they even damaged a couple of their guns for good. Okay, so Charlie and Nicola, you're still on your ship, right? Okay. Do either of you have defense against ranged?
I don't think so.
I'm not bulletproof.
No.
Okay. Ow, that's going to hurt. So I would like somebody to say high or low, and I'm going to roll a die.
Hi.
High. Okay, it's low. So Charlie, out of nowhere comes a shot, and it kind of just plows right into you. Probably kind of in your chest area. You're going to take 11 points of damage minus your soak.
My patchwork of leather and like tattered linen shirt, and you see like this kind of like rows of red kind of expand out from my shoulders. I've taken a pretty serious hit here. I probably even fell back to the deck. Like, wow, what just happened?
Okay, and now that brings us to the guys on you, Mr. Fisk. You are still wielding your sword, correct?
Yes, I am.
Okay. So whatever you actually gave him a setback die. I forgot about that too from last time. Okay. They failed miserably. Failed miserably, but with 2 advantage. So these guys are trying to hit you, and whatever you did, like your footwork, is completely confused them. They can't get a good hit on you at all. But what happened is one of them has managed to kind of tangle up your sword with his, so you will have a setback die against your next turn. And that would bring us to you guys.
I think that Nicola would rush over to Charlie. Just hold still for just a moment, and she's just kind of gonna she's gonna try and staunch the wounds, or staunch the bleeding, I suppose.
Okay, so you're going to make a medicine check. Charlie, how hurt are you?
In a metaphysical sense, about an 8 out of 13.
Okay, so this will be a 2 purple challenge for you.
Okay. Now, it says with the apothecary kit that allows your character to perform medicine checks to heal wounds and critical injuries without penalty. What does that mean?
That's a good question.
And like, are there uses for the like a healer's kit has 10 uses? Is there the same with that for an apothecary kit?
I don't think so. What it is if you try to do a medicine check on somebody else and you don't have a kit, then you are upgrading the difficulty die.
Ah, okay.
So this one, you'd be straight purple, just 2 purple.
Ah, perfect. Okay, all right, that makes sense. All right. So I got 3 advantage, but no successes.
Okay, so you don't manage to heal any wounds, but 3 strain are healed.
I
If you had
tried.
any. If you had any.
Right, I did that right. It was 3 green, 2 yellow, and 2 purple.
What's your medicine?
My medicine. Sorry, I have so many tabs open. My medicine is rank 2, and I have an intellect of 5.
So you would be rolling 5 dice, 2 of which were yellow.
Yes, and then 3 green.
And then 2, yeah, so 2
purple.
yellow, 3 green, 2 purple.
Yes.
And you got 3 advantage?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it.
It's not the best roll ever.
You also have story points, so you could upgrade another die if you wanted to.
How many? I'm sorry. How many story points do people get? Is it a pool?
It's a pool. So there's currently 3 in your pool. So you could use one to change another one of those green dice to a yellow die if you wanted to.
Yes, I would like to do that.
Okay.
Do I re-roll the whole thing, or do I just roll?
Just re-roll. Just roll a yellow die and add
just
it to
roll a yellow.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh my God! It's another advantage.
I am strain free.
Yeah.
Good to go.
No stress. He's dying.
You're the most relaxed, but you're dying.
You know, I'm not even really too worried about this bullet. I think I can keep going. We're good.
All right. Well,
Like
I guess
rolling my neck, like yeah, I actually feel pretty good.
we could go for a walk.
All right. So that brings us to the next one. Next person.
I might as well go. So maybe I'm kind of like in a mix of adrenaline and shock right now, because I'm gonna like hop back up. And is there a crew on our deck?
Yes, yeah, there is. A lot of them have gone over to the other side, and you can see that they're fighting over there as well. There might be the odd pocket of people fighting on this side, but they seem to be on your side of the ship. It seems to be well in hand. People on the other side seem to have a little bit or in much more dire straits.
I'm gonna, approach nearest crewman and ask him for his grappling gun.
Sure, you can take it right off of his belt.
So maybe this guy is like, pulling a rope or something, and I just reach over and grab it, and I would like to try and shoot the ship instead of a person this time.
Sure. So it's your ranged attack against 2 purple. Is it?
Okay.
Plus, because it's bigger than you, you're going to get a boost die.
Ooh, heck yeah.
And then a setback because of the distance.
Right.
No,
we good.
Forget the setback. Ignore that one. Get rid of it.
Okay. Can do. Just a single success.
Okay, so you managed to shoot it properly.
All right, test it. Can I swing across in the same turn?
You can take 2 strain to swing across if you would like.
I'm with like a surplus of strain right now, so I think I can handle it.
Sure. Yes, so you manage to swing across, and you can either swing yourself to where Mr. Fisk is, or that other group that was firing on you.
I'm gonna go to where Fisk is.
Okay. And that would bring us to Fisk.
So as Charlie kind of lands
Good day, matey.
on the other side of one of these guys, Fisk is going to kind of look at him. It's about time you've shown up. A little bit of trouble. And he's going
Caught
to
up in the loo. You know how it is.
always with you. I told you not to eat those. And he kind of comes in and attacks once again. So, and a setback. Okay. That's a lot of advantages, but I don't see. Oh, okay. So no successes, no failures, but 3 advantages.
How would you like to spend those?
I think I'm going to negate the target's defense until the end of the round.
Perfect. So you kind of...
Oh, wait. I guess the end of the round is just their turn, huh? That wouldn't necessarily do much.
I would put it till the end of your next turn. That doesn't make sense.
Okay. Yeah. Then yes, that's what
Or you can make them drop their sword.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll go with that. So yeah, I step forward as this guy kind of looks over his shoulder to notice that Charlie's kind of landed just behind him. I step forward. This is the guy that kind of had locked Blaze with me. And I actually just kind of do this kind of like swirling motion and just send his blade like off to the side or over the side of the ship.
Perfect. Okay, so that brings us to the guns. They can't fire. So this is a free shot of you guys' only. So if somebody wants to roll, it's 2 black, 3 green against 2 purple.
So 2 black, 3 green, 2 purple?
Yep.
I got 1 success and 1 threat.
Ooh, threat.
Ooh.
What are they calling threat? Is threat the... Because I don't know the symbols. Is that the threat?
Yes.
Okay. So when I call disadvantage, because it makes more sense to me than threat.
Oh. Yeah.
That's
just what on the dice roller it just says threat.
It's called a threat, but the other one's called advantage, so it's, you know.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, so they got 1 success. You got 1 success and 1 threat. We'll get this word. So they do a bunch of damage to the other ship. Boom, a 6. It blows a big chunk of the ship away. The ship is looking actually pretty battered. There's not going to be much left to it by the time you guys are done. Disadvantage, your ship is going to suffer another strain as the impact from the flying debris kind of makes it harder to maneuver. Okay, so the guys are shooting at you, Nicola, because you're the only one left on the ship that they have got sights for. Dang it. Okay, so that is, they've got 2 disadvantage, so you can describe how you want to use that against them. But they succeeded in shooting you. So you're going to take 9 damage minus your soak.
Oh, so if I have a soak value of 4,
Then you're going to take 5.
Oh, okay. That's
Actually.
not as bad as I thought. Okay.
And you get to spend their 2 disadvantages against them.
Oh, interesting. So, opponent, is that the spending the X and the threat in combat, and then
Yeah.
I can opponent immediately performs a free maneuver? Is that
So
me?
that would be you.
Okay. All right. I think I'm going to do that. And what Nicola is going to do is she's going to shoot the grappling hook at a person, at them who shot her.
I'm sorry, you're going to what?
Can she shoot the grappling hook at the person who shot her?
You can't shoot the grappling hook, but you could. Basically, you're like moving or doing something or loading.
Okay.
Anything that doesn't take an actual roll.
Oh, okay. She is then just going to get the grappling hook loaded and aimed at the opposite ship.
You could aim. There's a good one. Use the aim maneuver. So that's going to give you a boost die on your next when you go to shoot it.
Perfect. Okay.
Okay, so we have the people on Mr. Fisk and Charlie.
One of which has been disarmed.
One of which has been disarmed. Yes, that is correct. So that guy is fumbling around. So collectively, that makes them fail. So the guy who's lost his sword, he kind of gets in the way of the other 2, and they have no good aim at either of you. It's kind of he kind of got in all of their way. So they are basically, they can't do anything to you. Everything was just attacking wide at this point. So that is their turn is done. That's right, stormtroopers are pirates. They can't aim anything. So we'll go back to the top. Bring it to your guys' turn.
Do you want to go ahead and utilize that aim that you were doing, Megan?
Yeah, she's gonna shoot at one of the guys.
One of the ones that's been shooting at you?
Yes.
Go for it. You it's 2 purples, and that's it. So plus the blue die for the boost.
Okay, and then that's a range, so agility is just 2. Okay. 3 advantage. So much advantage.
I know.
Would I be able to so I can add a black die to the target's next check.
Yeah.
So would I be able to like maybe I don't do any damage, but I kind of like hook his leg? If that makes sense? Would that constitute a black die? Or
I see. So like you shot the grappling hook, you didn't manage to like actually hit anything, but it's on the floor behind him, and you can kind of pull his leg.
yeah.
So, sure.
So there's that kind of, or like it would be hard for him to like move quickly or move away or move forward or something like that.
Yeah, it's going to turn his, you can like jiggle it or whatever it is when he's taking aim, and it's going to cause it to be.
Yeah, like maybe when you
harder.
like pulled the slack out of the rope, it's like across his like shins or his knees or something. So like he he's having a hard time like actually maneuvering around.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Nice.
gonna do.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay. Perfect.
Yeah.
Who would like to go next?
So Charlie is next to Mr. Fisk here. I'm gonna draw my sword now, and is
Last thing I heard was draw your sword. Nope, I can't hear you at all.
anything at all?
Yep. Nope.
And it's, let's see, get it kind of sweet.
Yep. Like an old TV antenna. You know, like stand and put some aluminum foil on it. As strange as it sounds, pull your connector out, lick it, and then put it back in.
That's what I do with batteries all the time because I don't want to replace them.
Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
Anything?
What?
No.
It's coming in and out.
Yeah.
Is it working
There
now?
you go. There you go.
Yeah.
I think I have to hold it in,
Oh no.
which is extremely inconvenient.
Is there anything you can prop up against?
Can you
Or,
hear me
push
still?
the- yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Don't breathe.
No.
Anything? No. God damn it. Thing now.
Yes.
I can hear you.
Now it's gone.
Aaron.
I want to pass him mine, but I'm like, I can't.
Yeah. I was just gonna say, oh, I have an extra microphone.
It's exactly. I was like, I was about to reach for it. I'm like, oh yeah.
No, it's not how
Doesn't
that
work.
works.
Poor guy. It's so infuriating when stuff like that happens. Hopefully he's got like a backup, even just a mobile.
Yeah, even just like one of these with like a little microphone.
Just something.
Yeah.
He's returned. Okay, I hear stuff.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
I got you.
Yeah. We have about 800 pairs of headphones in this house. I just had to find the ones that worked. Okay. So, I draw my sword and attack. That's all I wanted to say. Jesus.
So it's a melee attack against 2 purple and a black setback die.
Okay.
If he attacks the guy with
Scratch the black setback die because the guy has no sword.
So it's 2 purple. Just 2 purple then?
Yep.
Okay. I seem to have lost my 3rd purple dice. It's been a rough month. All right, we are sitting pretty good for this one though. I have 4 successes but 3 setbacks.
Okay, so you are going to do. You said 4 successes, so an additional 3 damage plus your sword. So it's your brawn plus 3 plus 3.
So 9.
So 9. So you can describe how you kill this guy.
So,
and lose your sword at the same time.
Damn it.
Oh, wait, no. Sorry, 3 setback. You said 3 setback.
Correct. He can take my sword. It's fine.
No, he doesn't take your sword, but somehow you fall. You fall prone. So you can describe how you kill this guy, but how you end up on your butt.
Well, as I'm like making the killing blow, I kind of forgot that I got shot. So like just the like jolt of pain through my shoulder after I hit this guy, I dropped to my knees and like focus on maintaining homeostasis for a moment. I would look up to Fisk. Aren't we supposed to be retrieving something, Mr. Fisk?
Yes, Charles. It'll be very hard to do when you're on your knees. Up. Come now.
I'm trying. Actually, I didn't move, so can I use my movement to stand back up? Or is that something I have to wait to do?
No, go ahead.
So I would, slowly, maybe even using Mr. Fisk for a bit of a lean. I'll get back to my feet and end my turn here looking for an entrance to below deck.
Perfect. And that would bring us to Mr. Fisk.
After kind of helping him to his feet a little bit, Mr. Fisk is going to round on the 2 individuals that are still standing nearby, and they're both still armed with their blades. He's going to try to kill one of them. Yes. Okay, that's a triumph. Let's see. A triumph counts as a success as well, right?
That's right. It's a success, and you can spend it for fun stuff.
Okay, cool. So I have 3 successes, one of which is a triumph. Oh, wait. That cancels one of those successes. So 2 successes, one of which is a triumph. And then the advantages and disadvantages cancel each other out.
Okay, so you have 2 successes. So that's going to be an additional point of damage. So you had a 4. So
it will be 8 damage total.
Okay. Plus, you can use that triumph for something cool. But I will have you describe to me how you managed to kill both of these remaining gentlemen in front of you, as well as whatever real fun thing you want to do with your triumph.
Okay. So he's helped Charlie to his feet, and as he was doing so, the other 2 individuals were trying to maneuver for position around their newly dropped comrade who Charlie had just killed. And as they do so, they actually just happen to line up, and Fisk just stabs through the first one, puts his hand on the back of his sword, and just pushes him straight back into the second, impaling both of them, and then just kind of having to forcibly remove his blade. And then he turns back to Charlie. Shall we?
After you, please.
And then I'll use a maneuver to head to the next point that looks like it needs pressure.
Perfect. So you have, there's this group of sailors that are firing on your ship. You could head towards them if you wanted to. Or
where did that one really nasty shot come from that hit Charlie? Can I use a maneuver to locate that?
That is exactly, yeah. You can see there's like a group of 3 of them standing close on their railing. Well, not on the railing, but they're standing there. You can see them like
Yeah.
kind of in a row, and they're firing on your ship, and that's
absolutely. That's where I'm headed towards then.
Okay, perfect. All right, we could go to the ship barrage. If somebody wants to roll that, that is 2 black, 3 green, and 2 purple.
I can roll that. Maybe I can't roll that. Oh, no, there it is. 2 black, 3 green, 2 purple is a 2 success and 2 threats.
Okay, so what's going to happen is you succeed on doing damage to them. How many successes did you say?
Sorry?
Did you say, how many successes did you say?
2.
2.
2 successes and 2 threats.
Okay, so another solid hit on their deck, but what caused an actual kind of a bump on your ship. So Nicola, you have a setback die to your next action. Okay, so they've managed to. No, their guns are still gone. So that brings us to the guys firing. Now you have closed in on them, Bronson, so they actually are disadvantaged to shoot at this point. But they have their guns ready, so they are actually still going to shoot towards Nicola. And Nicola, you gave them a setback die, right? Because of that that wire
Yes.
going through. Perfect.
Yes.
So they get 2 setbacks. Well, that was a much better roll. So they ended up with a disadvantage. That is, or a threat. So you can describe how you would like to spend that on them.
So it really looks like they can just suffer a strain if they only have 1, or they lose the benefits of a prior maneuver. But did they have any benefits?
No, you already have they don't have any benefits at this point. So when you're firing against somebody like these are minions, doing a strain damage is actually doing a wound damage to them. So you can do a point of damage.
Yeah. Yeah. I imagine that she pulls the grappling hook tight and maybe they like fall or trip or stumble or something.
Not quite.
Oh.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm imagining like your grappling hook, you pulled that taut. It caused them to fire wide. They didn't get the shot off. And it tore one of their legs a little bit with the grappling hook. So that brings us back to you guys, top of the order.
Okay. Mr. Fisk has charged forward now. This one that has just kind of suffered a small setback with his leg, he's going to run straight up to him. And I guess I'm going to go with something a little different. I'm going to go with Brawl. Ooh, actually, wait. I think I actually have a... Okay, so a Bull Rush. Oh, wait. I have to wait until I have 3 advantages or a triumph.
You can attempt that. So, because you charged at them, right? You used a maneuver last time to get to them and engage them. So if you do something this time and you get 3 advantages, you can use the Bull Rush.
Okay, so that's what I would like to do. But I think instead of a melee attack, I think I'm going to go with a brawl. So I'm just going to kind of like lower my shoulder and just charge straight into this one that that Nicola had kind of tripped up a little.
Okay, perfect. So you get no setback die against that because they do not have any defense.
Oh, sweet. Okay, cool.
So it's just 2 purple.
2 green, 2 yellow, and 2 purple. Okay. Ooh. There's a lot going on with this roll. Okay. Those cancel each other out. And then this cancels out one of those. So that's 1 advantage and 2 successes. I don't think that's enough. No. Not quite.
So you can't bull rush, but you can do something with your advantage.
Okay, let's see. What I have the advantage with? I'm going to add a blue to my next ally's check.
Okay. Yeah, whoever's going next, you're attacking them made it easier to hit because they're a little bit less. They're off their footing.
Right, exactly. Yeah, I kind of rocked him from his stance a little bit, and now Charlie's coming up kind of right behind me.
So you got 2 successes, so that means you do an additional damage on, and you were hitting them with your shoulder. Roll, so that is your brawn in damage.
Okay, just straight brawn.
Yeah.
So 4, and then you said 1 additional?
Yeah. So that's
5 total.
So you can actually describe how you managed to kill the guy that you...
Wow. Okay. So yeah, I actually knock him off balance enough that he does stumble backwards, and the back of his thighs hit the gunnel, and he just completely falls backwards over the edge of the boat.
Overboard. Perfect. Okay, and that brings us to the next gun.
Would the advantage only apply to attacking the guy that Jeremy just killed, or anybody?
Anybody.
Okay, so maybe like one of his friends tried to reach and grab him, which also pushed him by the ledge. So I'm going to try and just kind of shove him off as well. So that would be a brawl as well.
That is a brawl check. Yeah, against 2 purple.
Okay. And I get a blue. All right. So 2 failures, 1 success. No, not 2 failures, 1 success. 2 failures, 1 advantage.
Okay, so you don't manage to hit the guy.
I managed to fling myself overboard.
you completely miss him, but you do have an advantage. So you can describe how what you get from that. You missed him.
Let me... Can he just be like distracted by me or engaged with me, kind of oblivious to Bronson?
Yeah, or oblivious to Nicola, who's going to go next.
Yeah, that'll work.
So she gets a boost die.
Trying to push someone overboard with a gunshot wound doesn't really work.
Didn't work. And Nicola, have you gone already this turn?
Nope.
Yep, then go ahead.
So I think Nicola, she's still on the other side. How does the ship look? Like the other side of the ship? What's the state of it?
Their ship?
Yes.
It is looking really, really bad. They'll be able to move, but they're going to have to spend like months and months and months to repair this ship. If they take too many more hits, there's not going to be much ship left.
Right. And so the orders were to board and take over the ship, not to absolutely obliterate it, right?
That is right.
Okay. So I think she actually is going to, at this point, try and make it across. So I think, is that an action for her to reload the grappling gun or to get it free? Does she have to roll to like get it back? into its...
No, it's we'll call it like a slow firing, so it's kind of assumed that you can do it while moving. So it doesn't take a maneuver. But you can only shoot it once around.
Ah, okay. She is going to... Actually, it's already over there, so could she, like, pull it and get it to hook onto something? Or...
Yeah.
Okay. She's going to do that. She's going to try and pull it and see if she can get it to be taut or to kind of catch on something.
Let's roll... It's not really melee. Either coordination or athletics. I think something like that, as you're trying to maneuver it as you're pulling it.
Okay, I think she's going to do athletics and just do like this really, really hard pull. So that's a 3 green. And how many purple?
2.
Okay. I get a success. And that's it.
Okay, so you managed to do what you were trying to do. So it has lodged into something that is sturdy enough to take your weight to go over.
Perfect. She's going to do that.
Okay, so you are... If you want to take an action, you could take 2 strain to move over to the other ship.
You know what? Yeah, let's do that. 2 strain. Yep, she's going to do that, and she's going to get over to the other side.
Okay.
Yeah.
And now you can take an action then.
An action. Okay, so that's hitting someone, right?
Yeah.
I can. Excellent. So she has this metal arm, this biomechanical arm with all these gears and all of this blue energy almost coursing through it like veins. And you can see that she just closes her fist, and you can hear the click of these buttons, and then the gears begin to whir, and out comes this dagger. She's going to try and shank someone.
Perfect. So these guys still have their pistols in hand, so they have no defense against any melee attack. So they are just 2 purple die.
All right. So I have brawl. I have 1 rank in it.
And it uses your brawn. Yeah.
And it uses my brawn. So that's 2. So I have 3 brawn. So that's 2 green and a yellow.
Yes.
Okay. I got 2 failures and 3 advantage.
Okay, so you do not manage to hit them, but you can describe what you do gain with your advantage.
I would like to, with that advantage, can I spend it to disable them? Target drops hand contents. So can I get one of them to drop their gun?
Absolutely. Yep.
So I can imagine that she takes this long blade out and she just kind of punches through, but it's almost like a feint. And with her hand, she's going to grab the gun and disarm the person.
Beautiful. So do you have the gun?
Well, sure, if I can.
The answer to that question is yes. You
Yes.
can take the gun.
Yes, I do take the gun. Yes.
Perfect. Okay, so that brings us to the ships. And we're going to, at this point, well, I'll let you guys do the call if you want to continue firing or if you want your guns to stop firing.
Is there? I know we're in like the process of boarding, but I feel like in this setting maybe there'd be like grappling cannons to where we like attach our ship to their ship. In the event that we, did blow the hell out of it, to kind of tugboat it, if you will. Would that be something we'd be able to do?
Yeah, I don't see why not. If you want to do that.
Does that make sense to everybody? I mean,
Yeah, that sounds cool.
like kind of like an airlock thing in space, but we're not in space. So this thing just kind of like two side cannons that grab onto the enemy ship and pull it close. I mean, all our cannons would be right next to it should we need to blow the hell out of it. But just a thought.
Yeah, so you do have smaller deck of cannons that you could have loaded with these grappling
Attachments,
shots or whatever.
The things.
Something that I'm assuming you want them to be easily removed.
Yeah,
so
like
you can get away at
Yep.
some point. Okay. So yeah, go ahead. Somebody can make a shot for that using 3 green against 2 black. And
how many purple?
in this one, 2 purple.
All right. Okay, so I don't know if I should be the one rolling these anymore. I got a flat out 0. Everything canceled out.
So I would say in this they couldn't get any good purchase on
Okay.
wherever they were aiming, whether it was because the other ship was too damaged in that and they just pulled right on out.
Right.
So they didn't do any damage, but they did not get a good lock on them. The other ship's not firing. So we have the 2 guys that are remaining. One is without a weapon. The other one has a pistol, which he's going to try to shoot you in the face with, but that is hard. Does get disadvantage. Okay, so it's going to be 3 purple for him. And you don't have any defense on your ranged, do you? On ranged armor, ranged defense, Bronson?
No, just to melee with my sword.
Okay. Yeah, no, he's not very good at shooting you with. So that turns out to be 2 failures. Everything else cancels. So he completely misses. It is just too hard to aim when you're right there in his face. So he completely misses you. And that would bring us back up to the top. So one of you can go.
So Mr. Fisk takes advantage of this missed shot, kind of almost like knocking the rifle away, or the flintlock pistol, whichever it is, and kind of using that opportunity to kind of step into his engagement range, and is going to bring up his sword again. And they don't get a setback die because they're not wielding a sword. Is that correct?
That is correct. It's just straight 2 purple.
Ooh. Well, let's see. Okay, so that cancels part of that out. So that's 2 disadvantage, or no, 2 threats. The ones with the 3-point crosshairs.
Yeah, threats.
Okay, so that's 2 threats and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 successes.
Oh, wow. Okay. So 5 successes, and you're hitting him with your sword, right?
Correct.
So
So
that's
4 brawn, 3 from the sword is 7, and an additional 4.
yeah,
So it's another 11
11
points of damage.
So you can describe how you kill this one guy that you are stabbing.
Okay, so
And then you said you had 2 threats.
yes, 2 threats.
I think what's going to happen is the other guy is going to turn tail and run.
Okay.
Okay, so you can describe how you kill this guy.
So I knock his gun out of the way, kind of almost backhanded, as the shot kind of fires and narrowly misses me. And then I just, in one fluid motion, kind of knock it aside and step forward and just run him through. And then the other guy kind of turns and runs, and I don't have time to like get my weapon free to even like try to pursue him yet.
Muted myself instead of meeting. That brings us to either Charlie or Nicola. You have this guy who is running away. He is no longer in engage range. He is short range from you. Who would like to go?
Oh, sorry. Could Nicola run after him and be within melee range?
Yeah,
Or-
it would take a maneuver for you to catch up to where he is gone.
Yes, I will do that. And then she's gonna try and get him with her arm dagger.
Okay, so it would be 2 purple.
Okay. That is 2 successes and 2 advantages.
Okay, how much damage do you do?
I do +1 damage.
Okay, so it's your brawn +1.
Okay, so that's
then-
3 + 1 is 4. What's crit mean?
That's how many advantages you would need to spend, and you could do a critical injury.
Oh, I can do that. And what does accurate 1 mean?
Oh, it means you get to roll a blue die as well, a boost die. So roll a boost die.
That a boost die is 1 success and 1 advantage.
Okay, so now you have an additional success, so you're going to do additional damage.
Yeah.
So it's 5 damage, and you have 3. Is it 3 advantage now?
Yes.
Yeah.
I would like to crit.
Okay.
And yeah, that's it.
Okay, so you get to roll on the critical injury table.
Ooh.
It's a D100.
Sorry, I don't have that dice opened up. That's a 4.
4.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so he suffers 1 strain, which is a wound. So you can describe how this guy dies.
What I like to imagine is this guy begins to run away, and all you hear is Nicola, "I've got him!" And she just kind of runs at him, and then from behind just kind of slides in this mechanical arm, kind of twists and turns so the blade comes out again, and then she just kind of goes into his back so that you can see almost the very tip of the dagger just kind of peeking out the outside, and then she retracts it, brings her arm back, and then just kind of stands.
And he just kind of slumps to the ground. Okay, so with that, you guys can do all that rolling for strain if you need to. If any of you have taken strain at this point. I don't know if
How do you roll for strain?
So you make a discipline or cool check.
Good thing I'm disciplined as hell.
And there's no purple dice or anything. It's just a straight roll.
So my discipline is, I have 1 rank in discipline, and then I have 3 willpower. Does that mean I get a triumph instead of a normal one?
It means you roll 2 green dice and a yellow.
1 yellow. Oh, sweet. All right. 3 successes, 2 advantage.
Okay, so for every success, you're going to recover 1 strain.
Don't worry, Nicola. I am super strainless.
Okay, so I had 1 strain, and I got 2 advantages and 1 success.
So you heal your strain.
Okay, cool.
And Nicola, did you take any strain? You're muted.
Thanks. I did have 2, but I rolled 3 success and one triumph. So that brings me down.
Yeah, so none of you have any strain left. Okay, so we're going to leave the battle there, and we're going to go back in time, like 3 weeks. And you guys are at Port Havren, this den of debauchery and depravity. It's where you've put up your peg legs, spend your ill-gotten gains on whatever vice appeals to you. It's a haven for those in need of one, or for those just lurking to hear the next rumor, the next whisper of the treasure to plunder. And that's where we find you, this motley crew of ne'er-do-wells. You're between jobs, between ships, in fact, and mayhaps you're looking to join one. So I would like, let's start with Jeremy. Jeremy, where do we find you in Port Havren when Charlie comes looking?
So Charlie finds Mr. Fisk. You said we're between ships right now, right? So we have no ship that we're calling home.
That is correct.
So Mr. Fisk is wherever he and Charlie have been kind of roomed, where they're having board at, this kind of rundown old tavern, in the corner of a small private room. It's basically just large enough for the 1 table that's in it, and he has got all of their collective wealth kind of spread out on the table, and he's organizing it, trying to figure out exactly how much they have, what they're going to do next for their next gig or job, so that they can stretch how far this payment's going to go.
That was the reward from the last thing we did, you said?
Probably. It would include that at least.
Because I think that sorry if I'm just repeating what you said. We had done a score not too long ago together. So maybe I show up drunk with poor use of what coin I was given as an allowance. Oh, Fisk, I need some more money.
Charles, you were supposed to get salted pork. Where's the salted pork?
I was supposed to get Charles. Fisk, I need some more money.
Charles, you're drunk.
That I am.
You drank the money that I gave you to buy the salted pork.
Well, I didn't drink the salted pork.
Charles, we need money. This is not going to last. We need a job. We need work.
And stumbling in and pulling out a chair and spinning it on one of the legs and sitting down with the chair backwards. Super cool. You're right. I'll quit. After, and if you have a bottle on the table, he'll snatch it up. After this one.
Charles.
Oh, thanks, mate.
was using that to clean the coins.
Yeah, it kind of burns going down.
It was not expensive.
It didn't taste like it either. So work. How can we make more money?
That's the question. I don't know that we're going to find it here in this piss hole.
No, unfortunately not. Not for our lot, anyway.
Well, maybe luck will strike. Maybe.
If it does, it won't be my luck. You know how it is.
True. And he reaches over and takes the bottle back from Charlie.
Starts polishing the coins again.
So, Nicola, you have been approached a few days ago by the first mate of the Triton's Folly. And he wanted you to see if you could round up a couple more able bodies. So what are you doing?
I think right now she is in the same place that they are, but closer to the... What is the place that they're called? At the bar? It doesn't have a name?
What bar did you go to?
It's called the Grubworm.
Oh, nice. So she's at the Grubworm. And she is talking very loudly. She has kind of one big glass of ale in or mead, I guess, in one hand, and in the other, she's like very animately like moving her robotic hand around, and there's a small group around her, and she's talking about how she lost her arm. You wouldn't believe it. A shark in the sky. No, not robotic, real flesh. Came upon us one night. It was snowing. No, it was raining. Pouring rain. We were up in our ship and we see the silhouette. Bathed in moonlight it came and attacked my ship. Many of us died. Or many of them died. Many of my crew, they didn't make it. And I almost didn't either. He took my most prized possession. What made me me. My arm. And she kind of looks down solemnly, very dramatically at it. She kind of holds it up and just kind of, wiggles her fingers a bit. But that is not why I'm here. I am looking for anyone who would be willing to get some coin. Work for hire. You know how it goes.
And we are at this bar that she's talking to like the crowd.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. She is talking very loudly.
You hear that, mate? She's got... And as I turn around and see who it is that's talking, I would immediately turn back around and try to avoid eye contact. No, never mind, Fisk. Must be wrong.
What?
Nothing. Random thought. Let's keep shining this gold.
No one wants... Oh, we would pay you quite handsomely.
What is that woman speaking about? She's just payment.
She's not talking about nothing, Fisk. She's
just
well
said
in,
that
she's well in her cups.
Miss, he kind of raises his hand and waves this large sausage fingered mitt. Miss.
Ah, Yes. Please excuse me, gentlemen. And she kind of walks over to you.
You mentioned something about payment.
Ah, yes. Yes, I did.
What would you be looking for in exchange for?
We need some able-bodied crewmates.
Ah! And he kind of slaps the table, and the whole thing kind of like jumps with all this money on it. You see, Charles? Luck.
Yeah. Look.
Charlie, is that you?
Ah, Nicola.
Oh, it's been ages. And she kind of like is looking at your face area. And she's kind of looking at it like she's kind of like
inspecting my face.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Nicola, stop it right now.
Oh, but you didn't come back for checkup.
It's fine. I look like a potato, but it's fine.
You know each other.
It's a long story. Nicola likes to flavor it with flying sharks.
Flying sharks.
Oh, yes. Haven't you heard? It's how I lost my arm, after all.
And
lost your arm to flying sharks.
I don't know how long Fisk and Charlie have been kicking it together, but you have never seen my face, like completely unmasked. And so as she says, this is how I lost my arm, I would like detach one of the clips from the side of my mask here and like reveal my horribly disfigured, I don't really want to call it a face. It's not what it is anymore. Yeah, I lost this and like quickly, reattach it. You don't tell a fucking soul what I just showed you. I swear to God, Fisk.
Forgive me. It's Mr. Fisk. Charles, please. I am a quartermaster.
Well, then it's Charlatan Charlie to you, mate. And like, I'll snatch the bottle back again and take another nasty swig.
Please, miss. Forgive Charles. He's deep in his cups.
But, well, any friends of Charlie is a friend of mine. Would you be interested in this little escapade?
Yes, I think so. Shall we discuss terms?
I'm just the person to find people. You really need to talk to the captain.
I see. And who is this captain?
What was it again? Karen?
Captain Gruben.
Whoa, sorry, say that again.
Captain Gruben.
Okay.
Of the Triton's Folly.
Triton's Folly. Okay. He goes by Captain Gruben. He sails the Triton's Folly. I don't know if you've heard of that before.
I'm guessing that I have not.
Well, it is somewhat well known in a few circles.
The captain is good to his crew?
I believe so. I haven't been there very long, to be honest.
See. Well, as long as the payment sounds sufficient, then I'll agree to see the captain and at least speak.
He has been on time with all of his payments. That I can attest to.
I can appreciate that. Come, Charles. We should go meet this Captain Gruben, was it?
Yes, Gruben.
Gruben. He starts kind of scooting everything off of the table.
Charlie, not having anything like in the immediate vicinity, would just stand up and kind of kick the chair back into its place. And I'm very like coming reluctantly.
Maybe when you're on the ship, I can maybe take a closer look at your face. Maybe fix it up.
I would just walk away. Not even acknowledge it.
And she would turn. She would turn to Jeremy's. What's your character's name? Sorry.
My name is Bronson Fisk. Most just call me Mr. Fisk.
Mr. Fisk.
Mr.
Yes.
Fisk.
Charlie seems a little on edge.
That is, unfortunately, sometimes just Charlie's way.
I see. Well,
You
seem quite pleasant. So.
Yes. Like I said, he grows on you, much like barnacles on the outside of a ship. Shall we?
Yes, of course.
The appropriate facial response.
Nicola, you lead them back to where the Triton Folly is docked.
Yep.
Yeah, we should. So you have to climb up as it's docked at one of the higher ports towards the top of the cliff. We get to see what Charles looks like.
Yeah. Somewhat disfigured. Somewhat not. His feet are small. He's self-conscious about it.
Perfect. So as you make your way up to the ship, you see there's a bunch of activity going on the ship. Like there's provisions being put on board. People looks like they're getting the ship ready. Basically preparing it for departure. So what do you guys do?
Right this way, gentlemen. I'm sure that the captain should be close. And she would begin to look around for Captain Gruben.
Seems like a fine vessel. Yes.
And Captain Gruben comes out and is like, Nicola, who have you brought me today?
Well, this is Charlie, and this is Mr. Fisk. I believe they suit your needs.
And the captain looks you up and down, Mr. Fisk. And who be you, and what could you bring in here?
Afternoon, Captain. My name is Bronson Fisk, though most simply call me Mr. Fisk. I have served as quartermaster in the past and a bosun. I'm looking forward to serving the crew if the terms are amicable. As you can see, I am a rather large individual. I bring with it a great amount of strength and tenacity.
And I'm sure you eat a lot, too.
There are times, yes, when my hunger gets the better of me.
I'd be watching that. We've only got so many provisions, you see. And he looks at Charlie. And who be you?
I be Charlatan Charlie, Captain. Ready to work and serve the crew. Whatever way I can, I guess.
Whatever way you can, huh?
For the most part, they have me on the ropes. I'm a rigger and a rat of various kinds. I've sailed many a vessel.
Do you bring anything else?
Well, I hear I tell a good joke or two.
Always been needing those. And these terms you've been talking about, Mr. Fisk. What kind of terms are you looking for?
Well, Captain, depending on the kind of work you're looking for, are we to expect plunder?
Aye. Our regular terms are for the officers, they get 5 shares of whatever plunder we manage to produce.
Do you have an opening for an officer?
I do.
A bosun, perhaps?
In fact, a bosun is what I'm needing.
Then a bosun it is you have, sir, for 5 shares?
5 shares.
Very well.
Not one more, but not one less.
To begin with, yes, Captain.
All right, to your stations. We'll be leaving soon.
Well, how many shares do us regular crewmen get before we get ahead of ourselves, Captain?
1.
Mayhaps I was a official of sorts too myself.
So you be saying that you can be doing more than just the rigging?
I think that's what I am, Captain. And I'm actually lying to you, like outright. So do you want me to give you a deception?
Absolutely, let's do that.
So I have 2 ranks in deception. So is that 2 triumph? Because my cunning is 3.
So you would have 2 yellow, 1 green.
Okay.
Versus, I'm looking it up right now. I think deception is vigilance. Okay. Okay, so we are going to roll contested rolls. Okay, so you roll and say how many successes and advantage you get, and I'll roll and tell you the same.
Do I have any negatives to this roll?
We're doing a versus check.
Contested. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, I got 3 successes, 2 advantage.
Okay, I got 1 success and 2 advantage. So you definitely beat there. So your lie is holding.
Perfect. For now.
So what you been bringing me then? What can you do?
Well, I can cook, I can make orders, you name it, Captain. I've been around many a ship, like I said.
And Nicola, you're the cook at this point, right? Yeah.
Cook / surgeon?
They use the same utensils.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do. And this is where my nautical knowledge is failing me. I can't remember the name of what you're called, but that's I'll look it up and give it to you. You'll be in charge of the rigging rats, whatever that one's called. Okay.
Ah, that seems right up my alley, Captain. Thank you.
All right, now if that will be all, we've got a ship to ready and get out of here. Sure, we'll go with that. Deck officer sounds good. To your stations. Let's get this ship ready. And so what would you guys do at this point?
Nicola would turn to the captain as Soul One Eye still waiting for me down there. In his room, he was some sort of splinter or something.
Yes, and he's been making a foul noise too. Hurry up and tend to him. Or
Yes,
at least,
Captain.
yes, make him be quiet.
Yes, Captain. And she would begin to go down to help out.
I think Charlie would kind of like boisterously walk on to the deck, like flip his coat out. All right, which one of you pig-stealing sons of bitches are the riggers? Because I'm your new officer. You report to me now, and I want to know who's going up and who's the fastest, and just basically making shit up as he's speaking. It's a single 13-year-old. It's the cracky voiced 16-year-old from Jake Norman's game, conveniently named Baron.
Mr. Fisk, what are you doing?
Mr. Fisk finds one of the nearest crewmen and says, "Would you please point me to the stores? I'd like to start taking inventory immediately."
It's right that way, sir. And he
Thank
points down the hold and towards the left kind of area.
He starts making his way that direction.
Okay. And if I'm gonna fast forward a few days, unless you guys want something to do, have something to do. Okay. So once you've put out and you're in flight and you're a few days away from port, the captain basically calls all of you in and you all be wanting to know what we're doing now, I'm sure. The plan is to take over the Defiance. We're going to run her down, we're going to board her, and we're going to steal her cargo. Anybody's got questions? Now's the time.
The Defiance. That sounds familiar. Is that the same Defiance that... Is it the same Defiance that I'm thinking about? Who's never been taken before?
Aye, that's to be the one. But we be the ship to take it. We are faster.
And I think Charlie's like, coiling up some rope, keep making it look like he still knows what he's doing. Aye, Mr. Fisk. Wouldn't be a challenge if the ship was untakeable.
That's the spirit. Spirit I'm looking for.
We're all gonna die.
I think at that too, Nicola comes walking out. She has kind of her hands up like this, and they're just like covered in blood. Human, animal, who knows?
Bit of both.
The meal will be ready in just a few moments.
What's on the menu today?
One of my riggers, I would imagine.
Sorry, I couldn't catch him. No, we have some cow. There's only 2 left. And it's in a nice stew, I suppose you could say.
Beautiful. Sounds great. And old One Eye?
The splinter is out, but he still complains like a child. But it's not as loud.
Good. That was bothering me sleep. All right, if there's no more questions, I've got some things to do. And so do you. And if you have nothing to do, we're going to fast forward some more. So we are back on the Defiance. You guys have just managed to, what it looks like, take over the ship. You're hurting. Well, one of you is hurting. But this ship, for all intents and purposes, is yours. The rest of the, the men and the officers have been round up, and all of your men are on this, except for the skeleton crew to keep your other ship going and flying, is on this ship. And before you stands the captain of the Defiance, or who is calling himself the captain of the Defiance, and his 2 buddies. And I'll see if I got a picture. I can do this. Promise. They're not armed at this point. They have been disarmed. There are on the ground kneeling in front of you, as well as a few other officers. And I would like actually each of you to make a perception check. I think perception's still a skill, right?
That it is.
So it's just a straight roll?
Yeah.
And it's against 2 purple? Or
No,
is
just a straight roll.
Just straight, okay. So mine's just straight cunning, I think. Yeah.
I got 1 success and 2 advantage.
Looking at 1 success, 2 advantage as well.
I got the inverse. I have 1 advantage and 2 successes.
Okay, so all 3 of you, actually, now that the action has died down, you can see that there is a man tied to the figurehead at the front of the ship. And Mr. Fisk, you actually think you might recognize this man as Commander Wayland.
Wayland. I feel like that name should mean something to me. And I don't see it written in my notes, so... So how do I know this man?
So this man has been after you since you killed your previous captain.
This is the paladin that's been chasing me?
Yes.
Okay, or the paladin.
Pirate equivalent thereof.
Right. So he's tied to the masthead?
Yeah. He is a member of the veritable, the Royal Empire Fleet. Naval people.
And these individuals they have surrendered to us directly or to the captain? Like, is the captain interrogating them?
They have surrendered to your fleet. The captain is not yet on board, but he'll be here momentarily.
So as Fisk has noticed that, he heard the man squealing and yelling or something, and he went over there to investigate. He calls out, "What is this man doing tied to the masthead?"
He's a member of the Royal Guard, the Verticapas. We can't have him on our ship. We didn't know what to do with him, so we tied him there. There to rot.
He was serving your crew before you discovered his identity?
No. And he spits to the side. Lowlifes brought him aboard, thinking we'd want him.
I see. Mr. Fisk is going to kind of turn back around and lean over the edge to where he can see, and hopefully this individual might be able to see him.
Commander Wayland.
And he just he just kind of moans. This guy is in really, really bad shape.
Charles.
Mr. Fisk.
You should see this.
I would probably have like a sword on one of the guys that are kneeled down right now and, put it away and walk over. What, the crusty dude that's strapped to the front?
Yes. Look at the insignia on his shoulder.
It's Royal Guard, the Royal Navy.
Not just anyone from the Royal Navy. This is the man I was telling you about. The one that's been on my trail.
Since the incident.
Yes.
Yeah.
Crockery is what it was.
I'll testify. A testament to that. So, what was his name? Commander Whaler?
Wayland.
Wayland. Seems like he's exactly where you want him.
I think I could stand a lower altitude.
Well, there's only about 6 ropes there between him and that.
It would be murder of a royal naval officer.
Oh, shaking in me boots, Mr. Fisk. We're pirates, sir.
Yes, Charles, I understand that. Some of us don't have a rap sheet as long as we are tall. Yet.
So, and with that, the man who's there kind of moaning, he's kind of coming to a little bit. And it's like your voice, he kind of recognizes you, and he's like, "You're just going to drop me, aren't you? It's all your lot is good for. No decency. You know, you weren't always like that. Fisk. Saw potential in you once. What a waste you've turned out to be. Your father would be so disappointed."
That's Mr. Fisk to you, Commander. Mr. Fisk. I'm a bosun now.
Whatever.
That's And hold on, can I interject? Maybe somebody's walking out with a slop bucket. I just want to sling this dude with some nasty shit.
Oh, just do what you're gonna do with me. Just get it over with.
And that's where the bucket of slop hits him. It's like, you don't speak to the quartermaster that way. I'll tell you that right now. Sorry, Mr. Fisk. Continue.
Thank you, Charles. You know, I had hesitation about what to do with you, Commander Wayland. Your acidic tongue has convinced me that I think my gut instinct is the correct call in this situation. Do you have any last words?
Your father will find out about this.
Perhaps. Perhaps he will. And he's going to cut the ropes.
Okay. And the guy plummets. Doesn't really make any sound. He just kind of falls quietly for a very long time. What do you guys do?
Haha, you let him spoke too much there, Mr. Fisk. I would have just cut him.
I believe you would have, Charles, yes.
I wouldn't just believe it, sir. Give me another chance and I'll do it for you.
Well,
And I would look over. I don't think it's really necessary, though.
I doubt there will be another chance, Charles. Fisk has kind of grown a little sullen in the moment. Excuse me. And he kind of leaves.
I think that Nicola is in the room where all the people are kind of held up on their knees. Is the captain there? Captain Gruben?
As you're looking, Captain Gruben comes from over the other ship. So at this point, you've kind of, there's like a gangplank between the two rigged up. So he's kind of walks across it and he comes down. And he sees the gentleman trussed up in front of you. And he's like, "Where's the captain? Where's the captain of the Defiance?"
Right here, Captain.
And he goes up to the first guy there, and he's like, kind of kicks him in the side. "Where's the captain?" What have you done with her? Speak, you scurvy dog. And he kicks him again. And the other guy's like, I'm not talking to you. You stupid. Get off my ship. It's my ship now. And then the captain looks, turns back towards the rest of you. He's like, find her. Find her now and bring her to me.
Perhaps I could be some assistance to make him talk.
Aye, if you can do that, that would be grand.
All right. And she just takes a deep breath, and she has like her little bag with her, and she just takes out all of these like, and she kind of snaps her robotic hand. All right, you two there, hold him down. Does anyone have a belt?
Charlie would give you his.
Excellent, thank you. And she's just kind of very like almost very properly just like taking out some things from her pack and kind of setting them along this guy. I really don't want to do this. Would you? Are you sure you're not willing to talk or say anything?
Sorry. And the captain, right before you're about to start, he's like, oh, and don't forget to ask him about the package. That's what we came for.
Of course. And yeah, she would begin the process of getting information from him.
You can just say it. You're torturing him.
Yeah. She starts with the fingernails and works her way up.
So you can roll a coercion.
All right. Coercion. Okay. Is it just a straight?
This is going to go as against his discipline, and I'll have you roll it.
Would I get any like form of advantage or anything because I am causing pain?
Yeah, let's give you a boost die. And he's just got 2 willpower, so it's going to be against 2 purple.
I got 1 advantage.
Okay.
Ooh, but wait, there's also a, can I? Oh, never mind. Can I use a story point?
Yeah, you can use a story point to upgrade one of your die if you want.
Okay, I will do that. To a yellow, right?
Yeah.
All right, that's a success.
Okay, so you have 1 success and 1 advantage?
Yes. No, so if I don't use if I take off one of the green, then it's just a success. If that makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you have a successfully... So what's the one question that you want him to answer at this point?
At this point, I think the package is what they originally came for. So she would want to know about the package first.
If that's what you're wanting, why didn't you say so in the first place? It's in my quarters. You'll know it when you see it.
And she would kind of look over and kind of tell another person to go and get it, I suppose. But then there's also the small little thing about where the captain is. And I'm afraid I'm going to have to get to know that as well.
Never! You'll never have that out of me. She's where she deserves to be.
I see. All right, well, I'm just going to take a few minutes break, clean up my tools, and we'll get right back into it. And she would just stand and just kind of collect some of her tools and then just go and kind of begin to clean them. Keep him down, would you? Thank you.
And what are the other two of you doing?
I would like to think I was one of the people holding this guy.
Okay.
Fisk is actually the one that she sent to go look through the chambers for the package.
Okay. We will go to you then, Fisk. So you go into the captain's quarters and make me a perception. 1 purple.
Okay, so I have a cunning of 2, but no actual perception, and then 1 purple. Oh, that's an even wash. Nothing.
Okay, so nothing actually sticks out at you when you walk in. It's a captain's quarters. There's, some maps on the table. There's some navigation equipment sitting on the table there too. An apple, what have you. What are you going to do?
He kind of looks around somewhat in frustration. His mind is not fully focused on the situation. He just, having dealt with Commander Wayland, his attention's divided. He's kind of running over a lot of his past, a lot of the things that got him into this situation with this man in the first place, and then how both the relief and the worry that this man's death is now going to cause on his life. And he gets very distracted, and he just starts focusing on anything that looks like it might be valuable. His flaw is greed, and his desire is wealth. So that's what his mind is going to drift towards.
Okay, so you are going to find, there's quite a lot of valuables here. He's got like these candlesticks, there's coins even just sitting there on the table. There's silverware, there's, you name it, you can probably grab it. So I'm going to say you're going to come off with about 100 gold, 100 coins worth of equipment or valuables. And I'm going to have you make another perception check with a purple, with 1 purple, as you're scooping up all this stuff.
Okay, so the same single purple from before, or this will have a second one on it now?
No, just 1 purple. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so that cancels out. So that's 1 advantage.
Okay, so as you're scooping up everything, you kind of notice that one of the things that you've grabbed is a little odd. You don't know too much about navigational equipment, I'm assuming at this point. It is something, but it doesn't look like the normal thing that you're used to seeing the navigators use. So it's kind of grabbed your attention, and you grab it as well without knowing what it is. And that'll bring us back to Nicola.
She's just going to try and just kind of recompose herself. She actually goes into the Actually, she would just go onto the deck and she would be sick. And then once she kind of regains her composure herself, she wipes the bit of sick from her mouth. All right, you can do this. And then she would go back in. She looked at Charlie. Has he said anything yet?
I would like remove, or is he in like a chair or is he laying down?
I would think probably laying down.
All right, then I like get off of his chest, like my knee was on his chest or something. Oh, sorry, Mum. Didn't realize I was supposed to let him talk. Didn't say a word, unfortunately.
Ah, I see. Well, are you ready yet? Should we do some more? Well, should we do some more cutting? I'm going to be blunt.
Glares at you defiantly.
Cut his face. And this is like a very uncharacteristic laugh out of Charlie.
Well, that's disturbing. All right. And she's just gonna go back at it. Looking at all the ligaments and using her knowledge of medicine and the human body to try and inflict as the max amount of pain, but not have as much blood, I suppose.
Okay, so what is your ranks in medicine?
I have 2 ranks in medicine.
Okay, so I'm going to give you 2.
I also have a rank in medicine, if that assists her at all.
Sure,
Yeah.
you can do the assist. So, so you can get 2 boost die from your medicine ranks, and then a boost die from Charlie's knowledge as well. And he's assisting you, and he's also probably, talking some crap as well to this guy. So you can have the 3 boost die, and then do your coercion again on this guy.
Against his...
Yes, against his will, which was just 2 purple.
Is there any way I can use strain, or is that not a thing?
You mean instead of dealing damage to him, you want to... You like going
Oh,
straight
no,
after
never
strain?
mind. Nope, never mind. Okay. Sorry. So that is 2 successes and 1 advantage.
Oh, yeah. So what do you want to know this time? He screams because you managed to get a very, very, very sensitive part.
See, I told you the face would do it.
As usual, Charlie, you're right. All right. Just tell us where the captain is.
And you can see that he tries so very hard not to talk to you. But as you continue to slice and cause him pain, his composure just kind of disappears. And he's like, she's in the brig.
See?
Just kill her.
Oh. Well, I don't think you're in any position to make those kinds of make those demands, but
kill her or I'll kill you.
I actually just punch him after that comment.
Sure.
Like, I'm not trying to... I guess if it does damage, it does damage. But I just haul off and slug this guy. Speak what we're talking about, not what you think.
I think that's all the information that we needed. I do with him what you will. I'm done. And she would get up and head towards Captain Gruben to tell him what she has learned.
Goes overboard.
You said this dude goes overboard?
Yes, ma'am.
Sweet. Okay. Of course he struggles. But with you and the rest of the crew that are helping you, he's got no chance. He's up and over before he knows what's happening. And Nicola, you approach the captain, right? What did you find out?
Well, both good news. We know where the captain is. She is in the brig. And the box, I'd sent Mr. Fisk to go and get it. That treasure package you were wanting.
Go get her. Somebody retrieve her. Bring her to the top of the ship. We're going to deal with this right now. And where's that Mr. Fisk?
Here, Captain.
And so what are you doing with all the stuff you found?
I am carrying it all. I bring it out, and there is a hesitation to hand it over. But he knows what happens to people who steal from the crew. So he's going to resist. He may have pocketed an extra, 2 or 3 coins, something like that. Stowed them away in his pocket. But the candlesticks and all of that stuff is all very much out in the open. And he kind of holds this bizarre sextant or whatever it is kind of out. He says, I wasn't certain that this is what they were talking about, but it is certainly something I don't fully understand. So I thought it might be the package itself.
And the captain looks at you. Ha, Mr. Fisk, you are proving your worth. It's exactly what I was looking for.
Glad to do it, Captain.
And he calls to another one. You there, get a sack. Put all this good stuff in it. Find anything else. Bring it aboard our ship. We get this captain and we go. And then he turns to all the other men that you've that you've captured that are sitting there on the deck waiting, minus the ex-captain that's overboard. And he's like, and you lot, you either be joining me or you be joining your captain. Your choice. And so did anybody go to get down below? Nicola, were you on your way?
Yep, Nicola would have gone as soon as the captain told her to.
Okay. And what are the other two of you doing while they're rounding up these scallywags?
I'm probably one of the scallywag rounder-uppers.
Yeah, unless Nicola seemed like she needed any help, then Fisk would probably be focusing on removing the cannon from this ship if we can add more to our own.
Okay, yes. The one side are pretty damaged from your barrage earlier because you can kind of knock them all out. But there are 6 guns on the other side. Now, they're extremely heavy. It would take a crew and of some time, but you could probably start maneuvering them and getting them wrapped up so that you could swing them over to your ship. It will take time.
Yeah, I'll probably actually put Charlie on that since he's in charge of the rigging rats to start like hooking up pulleys and stuff from these like the cross timbers to try to hopefully maybe get some kind of system rigged up to where we can lift these and swing them over.
Okay. And Nicola, you go below decks to the brig, and what you find, you find actually a few people in the brig. There's one person that looks like, well, they may not have lived. They're looking pretty rough. You may or may not be alive at this point. You're not sure. You can't tell without going over and looking at them. But there's also this this woman who's chained and just hanging from chains in the middle of one of the cells. And She's completely bloodied. And as far as you can tell, she's still alive, but she's not conscious at this moment.
Okay. So immediately, Nicola would go in and she has her little bag with her, and she would immediately get the captain down from these shackles as gently as she can and actually begin mopping up the blood around her, just so that she can see where she's actually injured.
Yeah, you can see that she has been beaten, severely beaten. She's got whip marks and cuts all over her body. Somebody who's tried to torture her, but they weren't nearly as skilled. So a lot of the cuts are superficial. She is not doing well, though.
So right then and there, Nicola is going to try and... She's still breathing, though, right?
Yes, she is still breathing. Yeah.
Nicola is going to try and stabilize her the best she can in this really dirty brig, just to make it safe for her to transfer ships.
Okay.
Do you want another medicine?
Yes, a medicine check. And this one, it would still be a difficulty 2.
Okay. That's 4 advantage.
Okay, so you heal 4 strain, but you are unable to heal any of her wounds. It's just not clean enough here.
Yeah.
And the lighting is really bad. But she's movable.
Okay. Yeah. All right. That's all she wanted, was just to get her movable. And so she is going to actually go also quickly check this other guy.
He is not breathing.
No pulse, no nothing.
No, nothing.
So she kind of leaves him, and then she is going to lift up the captain if she can and just kind of try and get her up the stairs.
Okay. I imagine you maybe took a couple of guys down with you.
Yes, probably.
Yeah. So they could help you bring her back up.
I would actually, if possible, I don't know how quickly she could do it, but maybe with the clothes from the dead man, or maybe some other fabric that she can find, she would want to make like a makeshift sling so that there's not like people just manhandling her, that she's a little bit like cushioned.
Sure, there's like extra canvas down there for like mass and stuff, so you can find something like that to put her in.
Yeah, and just have like 2 guys one guy in front, one guy behind, just kind of holding it up, and then her kind of laying in between.
Yeah. Okay. So you bring her back up to the deck, and the captain takes one look at her and says, "Oh, there'll be no talking to her right now. Take her over to the ship. Nicola, you go with her. Do the best to bring her back."
Yes, Captain.
And Bronson and Charlie, you're trying to rig up one of the guns?
Yeah, like rig up kind of like a pulley system with some of the ropes and the I can't remember what they're called. It's not mezzanine, but it's something like that. The cross timbers to kind of lift these cannons over, like up above, and then grab ley lines and kind of literally just pull it, swing it over to our side, and then lower it down.
Okay.
Just to move as many of these cannons that are salvageable as we can.
Okay, and the rest of the your shipmen are actually taking some of these rival shipmen, I guess you would call it, over to your ship. They're kind of got this little stream. Some of them aren't making it. If any are resisting, they go overboard right then and there. So that's all happening. And as your first gun is over around on your ship and is about to be lowered down to your deck, you hear a call from your what's it called? The crow's nest up there. Captain! Captain, there's a ship on the horizon! And we're going to stop right there.
Dun dun dun.
Yay.
Session 1 completed.
Nice.
Did it.
Well done.
Yay. That was awesome. That was a lot of fun.
See, I told you it'd be fun, Karen.
Just had to start. Just had to start.
Yep. Just gotta jump in.
That's right.
That was the only reason why I even said we should go on without Jason, is because without starting, it's just going to keep getting pushed off. So
Exactly. So if I end the broadcast, that I can stop it. Right?